welcome back to my channel. I got my janky foam core here, so that means we're going to be doing some crocheting. Last week we did the solid granny square rectangle, and I was asked to do a tutorial for the textured one that I also showed, as far as another type of rectangle that you could do in a solid granny square for these 9x7 panels that I do for Warm Up America. So okay, let's do it. Warm Up America featured this as their pattern. It's the textured rectangle. Credit to Yvonne Tate Designs for the pattern. It calls for a 5mm hook, but I'm a rebel. I'm using a J hook. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. Also using Big Twist Soft 4 medium worsted weight in varsity gold. No, in gold. Yeah, just gold. Don't mind me. J hook. Might want to consider an L hook for your starting chain if you chain tightly. A needle, a pair of scissors, you know, just for sewing up your ends. I have my cup of coffee. Yay! So excited. And blaring in my earbuds today is Dave Matthews Band live at Mile High Music Festival. Yummy, yummy for me. Woo woo! Alright, let's get busy. As always, we're going to start with a slip knot. Grab the end of your work and bring it around your finger, make it crisscross. And then you can take that loop off your finger and just hold it in place between your finger and your thumb, and then take the top here of your tail and push it up into that loop that you're holding on. Grab that, pull it through, slip knot. Easy peasy pumpkin cheesy. There we go. And then put that slip knot on your hook, and then we are going to chain 13. So you want a nice big chain. So grab your yarn and pull it through the loop that's on your hook, and see how that's a nice big chain. And then grab your yarn and pull it through the loop that's on your hook. See how that's a nice big chain. Now if you chain tightly, say like this, that's going to give you difficulty in this pattern, because we're going to be crocheting on both sides of this chain to make our base row. So if you do crochet tightly, get a hook 2 sizes larger than what you're working with, say in this case an L hook, and make your chain with that L hook, and so that way you'll have a nice big and easy chain to work out of, like that. See there? So it's up to you. Just make sure your chain's nice and big. So we're at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now I have 13 nice big fat chains. Yes, that is good for us. I'm gonna get rid of my L hook. I'm gonna go back to my J hook. I'm gonna put that last chain loop on my J hook, and now counting back from the chain that's on the hook, we're gonna go back 5 chains. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this 5th chain from the hook, we're going to put a double crochet. So yarn over your hook and then go into that chain, grab your yarn, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. Grab your yarn and pull through 2 of those, and then grab your yarn and pull through the remaining 2. There we made a double crochet. And we're going to do that 6 more times in the next 6 chains, okay? So yarn over, go into your next chain, grab your yarn, pull up a loop. You've got 3 on your hook. Grab your yarn and pull through 2 of those loops, and then grab your yarn and pull through 2. Let's do it again. Yarn over, go into your next chain, grab your yarn, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, grab your yarn and pull through 2 loops on your hook, and then grab your yarn and pull through those 2. And again. Grab your yarn, go into your next chain, pull up a loop, grab your yarn, pull through 2, grab your yarn, whoops, pull through 2, and again. Yarn over, go into your next chain, grab your yarn, pull up a loop, grab your yarn and pull through 2, and then grab your yarn and pull through 2. And let's do it again. Yarn over, go into your next chain, grab your yarn, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, grab your yarn and pull through 2, and grab your yarn and pull through 2. Woo! One more time. Right here, yarn over, go into that chain, grab your yarn, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, grab your yarn and pull through 2, and then grab your yarn and pull through 2. So we should have a total of 7 double crochets here. So let's check. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Yay, we did good. Now let's go ahead and finish up with our chain. We're going to skip this chain right here. And to skip that chain, we need to chain 1 where we're working. So that way it matches, and then we're going to double crochet in this last chain here. So yarn over, go into your last chain, grab your yarn, pull it up, 3 loops on your hook, and then grab your yarn and pull through 2, and grab your yarn and pull through 2. There we go. Now we've got this side started. We're going to need to work our way around so we can then crochet on this side and start our base row, or finish our base row. So we need to make our corner. So to make our corner, chain 1. This is going to be our seam for the, right here, this is our seam working up for each of our rows, okay? So we chained 1, and we're going to put a double crochet in this chain space. So yarn over, put your hook in that chain space, grab your yarn and pull it up, 3 loops on your hook, grab your yarn and pull through 2, grab your yarn and pull through 2. And so this is half of our corner right here. So now you guys know how to double crochet. So I'm not going to walk you through each step of the double crochet. I'm just going to say double crochet. So because this is half of our corner, now I need you to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we need to put 3 double crochet into this space. I have to change my battery. Hang on. Two, 3 double crochet. Now we need to make our corner like we did. So chain 2, 1, 2, and then 2 more double crochet in this end here. So there's 1, 2. Now we have finished our corner and our end, and now we need to work down this side of the chain, putting a double crochet in each one of those chains, and that's why we needed a big loop to work out of. So move my tail out of the way. La-di-da. So now find our first chain, which is right here, and we're going to put a double crochet in that first chain. And then our next chain, double crochet right there. There'll be 7 of these, just like there was on the other side. And then here's our chain, in our next double crochet, put 1 double crochet in that chain. And then a double crochet in your next chain. And you see what we're doing here. So we need a double crochet in our next chain, which is right here. And we're stacking those posts on top of each other, see that? And so a double crochet in your next chain. We've almost got to the end. And then a double crochet in that last chain right there. So when we look at this, we should have, not counting our corner, but we should have done just 7 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yay! We did it right! Now we're going to go in and make our corner on this side. So to make our corner, we need to put 2 double crochets in that chain space. So there's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, and then we need to chain 2, because that's going to give us the same kind of chain space, right? Now we need to put 3 double crochets in here for the end of our block, right? So yarn over and go in there and put in 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now we have to make the other side of our corner, so we have to do a chain of 2, and then we have to make the other half of our corner by putting 2 double crochets in this same, we're packing a lot in here, in this same chain space. So yarn over and put in 2, eek. Let's do that again. Take 2, yarn over and put 2 double crochets, 1, 2, in this chain space. And so now, see, we have 2 ends now, right? So here's our base where we crocheted on either side of that chain, and then now we have both of our corners here. So here's our corners that we work out of and our ends. Now we're going to start our texturing. So in your very first stitch right here, after we finished here, we're going to put a double crochet in that first stitch, just like that. Our next stitch, this one, is going to be a front post double crochet, and that means we yarn over, and then we take our hook and go behind that post like that, and then grab your yarn and pull it around, 3 loops on your hook, grab your yarn and pull through 2, grab your yarn and pull through 2, and that's a front post double crochet. Our next stitch, which is right here, right next to that, we need to put in a double crochet. Our next stitch, again, is a front post double crochet. So here's our stitch. Here's the post that goes with that stitch. So yarn over, put your hook behind that post, grab your yarn, pull up a loop, grab your yarn, pull through 2, grab your yarn and pull through 2. Front post double crochet. Here's our next stitch. Put a double crochet in there. So you see, this is the pattern. The pattern is 1 double crochet, 1 front post double crochet. So here's our stitch. We just did a double crochet in. Here's our next stitch. That post is connected to that stitch like this. So yarn over, go behind your post, grab your yarn, pull up a loop, grab your yarn, pull through 2, grab your yarn, pull through 2. And then in our last stitch right here, we put in a double crochet. You are always going to start your row with a double crochet, and you will end before your turn, your corner, with a double crochet. And then for our end, we have to have 2 double crochet, chain of 2, 3 double crochet, chain of 2, 2 double crochet. And right here we only have 1 double crochet because there's our chain 1 to start, right? And then here's our double crochet. So we have to have 2 double crochets on this side to end out our row. So double crochet, put a double crochet in this chain space, just like that. And then we're going to finish our row by joining with a slip stitch into this last stitch of our row. So you put your hook into that stitch, grab your yarn, pull it through that stitch, grab your yarn, pull it through the loop that's on your hook, and there we now have 2 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and then here's the body of our work, and then our corner on this other side. Okay, now we're going to start our next row. So here we are going to chain 1, and we're going to put a double crochet right here in this exact same space. And this is going to be our last stitch of our row, and now we're going to go into our corner. So in our corner, we're going to put 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet. There's our corner. Now we have our end here, and it's the same. We're going to start with a double crochet in our first stitch. So you got to pull your work over a little bit, put a double crochet in that first stitch, and then we'll do a front post double crochet on our next stitch, because that's our pattern, is alternating between the 2. And then we're going to end on this side with a double crochet in that last stitch, keeping our texture going around our work. Now we're here in our turn space, so in here we need to make a corner, which is 2 double crochet, if I could keep the yarn on my hook, chain 2, 1, 2, 2 double crochet, and now we're going to start over on this side. And so we always start with a double crochet in our first stitch. I gotta pull that over. There's my first stitch hiding under there. I'm gonna do a double crochet in that first stitch. I'm gonna do a front post double crochet in my next stitch, double crochet in my next stitch, front post double crochet for my next stitch. You guys see how this goes, right? Double crochet for my next stitch, front post double crochet for my next stitch, double crochet for my next stitch, front post double crochet for my next stitch, double crochet for my next stitch, front post for my next stitch, and then on this side, our last stitch before we get to our corner is a double crochet. You always start with a double crochet, you always end with a double crochet. Now we're at our corner, so we're going to pack this corner with 2 double crochets, chain of 2, 2 double crochets. Your corners never change. Your ends will though, because you're adding, you're increasing every time moving forward. So there's our 2 on our corner. Now we have this 3 on this end. Here's our first stitch, and we do a double crochet in our first. Front post double crochet for our next. And we end this side with a double crochet in our last stitch. And now we're going to make a corner. 2 double crochets. Chain 2. 2 more double crochets. Pull your work over, because now we're going to start on this row, this side again, and we're always going to start with a double crochet in our first stitch. Front post double crochet in the next. Double crochet in the next. Front post double crochet for the next. See what we're doing here? Just back and forth. It's got an easy rhythm. Double crochet in the next stitch. Front post double crochet for the next stitch. Double crochet in the next stitch. Front post double crochet for the next stitch. A double crochet for my next stitch. Front post double crochet for my next stitch, and we are at our join, and so I'm going to slip stitch here in the first crochet stitch we did on the when we started this round. Put my crochet hook in there, grab my yarn and pull it through the stitch, and then pull it through the loop that's on my hook, and we still have to finish out our row. So we just did a front post double crochet and then did our join, so we need to chain 1 and do a double crochet in this very first stitch right here that we just did a chain 1 in, because we're working toward our corner, and then a front post double crochet on our next stitch. And here we are at our corner, so this is our last stitch, and there's our double crochet. And now we'll make a corner, 2 double crochet, chain 2, two double crochet, and now we're on our end, and we are going to continue our pattern on the end. So we're going to put a double crochet in our first stitch right here, front post double crochet for our next stitch, double crochet in our next stitch, front post, double crochet, front knot. What is this? And then front post, and then we're going to end with a double crochet. We're right on track. And then we're going to swing around this corner by putting in 2 double crochets, chaining of 2, two more double crochets, and we're going to start on this side again. And when you look, your front post double crochets line up. See how it's like up and down, up and down, up and down? So your down is your double crochet, and your up is your front post double crochet. So you will always double crochet on top of a double crochet, and you will always front post double crochet on top of a front post double crochet as you work around. So I'm going to leave you to this row, and I'm going to meet you at the end of this row here. Hey, here, oh, wait a minute. You probably can hear that. All right. Blaring in the earbuds. Here we are coming up on our join. And I'm doing a front post. And a double crochet. And then a front post. And after this front post, we are going to join, just like we did in our last row. And so you will find your first stitch for your first double crochet that you did and slip stitch into there, just like that. So with my chain up of 1, if I want to continue and go around and do more rows, or if I want to stop here, it's up to you. What size of rectangle do you want to make? If you want to continue and make another round, what you would do after you chain up 1 is you put your double crochet in your first chain space right here, because your seam is always your first stitch, which is your double crochet. So from your join and your seam, then your next is going to be your front post. And then your double crochet. And then your front post. Missed it. Like that. Don't mess up like I did. And then look, there's my double crochet. And I'm at my corner to continue to go around to add another row, depending on how big you want it to be. I mean, so here's one that with the extra added row, and then when I got to my join, I just tied off there. And so you can see there's your join, which is your double crochet, and then after your join in your alternating pattern comes your front post, so you can continue on your next row to your corner. So there's one that's 1 row bigger than what we just did, and then here's the 9 by 7, and the same. Here's my seam, but because of that textured effect, the double crochet is recessed, the front post double crochet is raised. So in my seam, because it's recessed, you can't even tell. I mean, you really got to look to find that seam right there, the way it goes like that. It works out perfect every time. Nice and squishy. Make it as big as you want. So that is the textured solid granny square rectangle. Look what we did today. Make it as big or as small as we want, because it's up to us, right? Hey, if you like these kind of videos, please like and subscribe. I'll make sure to put this in a playlist so it's easier for you to find. My channel's loaded with content, just a smattering of my life, some crocheting and some tie-dyeing and jewelry making, some cooking maybe, spirituality, who knows, just whatever I got going on for that day. Remember, be peaceful, be kind, it's important. Maybe try something new today, who knows, you might like it. I'll talk to you soon.